Welcome everyone to today's Explainer. We've got an absolutely incredible journey lined up for you. We're going to trace the grand cosmological evolution of human history. And I know, that sounds huge, right? But this isn't just a list of dates and battles. We're looking at the hidden spiritual mechanics behind how humanity has been guided over thousands of years and exactly where we're arriving today. So, what does this grand cosmic shift mean for your daily life? Stick around because by the end of this, you're going to see your own role in the universe in a completely different light.
Okay, let's dive right in with a massive, fundamental question. Where does the Tao, the ultimate guiding truth of the universe, actually reside? Over the centuries, we've looked up to the stars, we've bowed down to kings, we've followed prophets, all trying to find that answer. We kind of tend to think of ultimate truth as this static thing locked away in a vault somewhere. But actually, that's not the case at all. The location of this truth hasn't stayed in one spot. It's moved, shifting precisely to where humanity needed it most at different points in time.
Here is our roadmap for today. We're tracking the chronological descent of the Tao in three parts. First, we'll hit Antiquity, about 5,000 years ago. Then Middle Antiquity, which brought the great world religions around 2,500 years ago. And finally, we'll arrive at the present day, the age of human dignity.
All right, so picture a world thousands of years ago, in Antiquity, the age of divine sages. This was a time when the world was quite literally guided by extraordinary individuals. The cosmic truths, they weren't hidden away in dusty books or locked inside isolated temples. The truth actually walked right among the people. It took the physical form of these remarkable leaders. Basically, the universe's blueprint was concentrated at the very top of human society, guiding early civilizations step by step. At the absolute heart of this era was the Shinsong, or the divine sage. Now, this concept is super fascinating, because these ancients, they weren't just politicians writing laws, and they weren't just monks meditating in caves. No, they were absolute masters who perfectly held both of those roles at the exact same time. It's incredibly rare today to find someone who's a master of statecraft and the spirit, right? But for these foundational figures, unparalleled spiritual wisdom and supreme ruling authority were completely intertwined.
So in Antiquity, two very distinct powers were completely unified within a single leader. It's like two halves of the exact same coin. On one side, you've got the Song, representing the sage. This is the keeper of quiet, introspective spiritual wisdom. On the flip side, you have the Hung, the hero, representing dynamic, world-shaping political power and the ability to rule. Back then, the profound wisdom of the Song and the raw power of the Hung existed as a single, flawless whole. This ensured that absolute power was always guided by divine ethics. And just look at the unbelievable gifts these unified sages gave us to build the very foundations of civilization. Take Fuji, for example. He created the trigrams, profoundly mapping out the basic elements of reality. Symbols so powerful, they literally inspired the modern Korean flag. Shennong taught early humanity the vital arts of agriculture and medicine. Ya understood the movements of the heavens, giving us the calendar and time itself. King Wen gave us the deep cosmic wisdom of the I Ching, and Zhang Zia laid down legendary military strategies. Literally every major leap in human progress came directly from these divine sages.
This golden age operates on a specific principle called Daguangzhuang. That basically means the Tao was bestowed directly upon the emperors. Since human society was, much simpler back then, the heavens fully trusted these emperor sages with the ultimate truth. And talk about an immense responsibility. The emperor was the literal bridge between heaven and earth, holding an absolute cosmic mandate to both rule the physical empire and teach the human spirit all at once.
But, well, things change. As we move forward in time to Middle Antiquity, humanity started to shift. Massive empires rose up, complex economies developed, and honestly, human greed really started to take root. The world simply became way too complicated, and that beautifully unified Tao, it fractured. The ancient system where rulers could just be implicitly trusted with the ultimate truth began to crack under the heavy weight of human ambition.
Because political rulers became corrupt and could no longer be trusted with this cosmic truth, heaven had to pivot. The Tao was stripped from the emperors and handed over to the Sabu, or the teachers. This new principle is called Daguang Sabu. Rulers were left with just the power to govern the physical state, while the spiritual truth, the Tao itself, was relocated to independent teachers whose sole job was to quietly guide the human soul.
To handle this brand new reality, heaven began sending some truly brilliant spiritual teachers to guide us. They arrived on these perfectly timed cosmic schedules, roughly every 500 years, bringing spiritual teachings tailored perfectly for their specific eras. We're talking monumental figures here. Buddha, born in the year of the ox, Confucius, born in the year of the dog, and Jesus, born in the year of the rooster. They took on the Sing, the profound spiritual teaching, but totally separated from the political and military rule of nation. Okay, but this fracture created a terrifying new problem for us. If all the spiritual teachers are sitting up on mountains and in temples meditating, who's leading the armies? Seriously, what happens when a ruler possesses absolute political and military power, but has absolutely zero spiritual guidance or inner wisdom to temper it?
Well, the result was catastrophic. Without the Sung, or the sages' wisdom to guide their hearts, these rulers just became pure heroes, the Ung. And raw, unchecked heroic power without any spiritual grounding, it inevitably turns into tyranny. Figures like Genghis Khan, Qin Shi Huang, Napoleon, and Hitler wielded massive influence but used that unchecked power to inflict unimaginable suffering and destruction all across the globe. History basically turned into a brutal cycle of conquest and bloodshed.
And millennia of this unchecked tyranny didn't just fade away into history books. It actually created a very real metaphysical pollution. In our source material, this toxic energy of accumulated suffering and unresolved sorrow is known as Wanji. Think of it as the literal screams of history clogging up the spiritual atmosphere. It's this overwhelming, suffocating cosmic grievance built from thousands of years of oppression, war, and innocent suffering.
This horrific buildup of Wangi wasn't just a human problem anymore either. It escalated into a full-blown cosmic emergency. The suffocating energy from millions of oppressed people, mixed with our growing human arrogance in the face of material progress, pushed the entire universe to the absolute brink. Heaven, earth, and humanity, what we call the three realms, were facing total collapse. The fundamental spiritual machinery of the universe was quite literally breaking down under the weight of all this human grief.
When Senji, the supreme ruler of the heavens, surveyed this impending disaster, he revealed a really profound truth. He said, "Without humans, there is no heaven and earth." Think about that for a second. Heaven and earth actually exist for and through humanity. So, the cosmos cannot be saved by some quick fix from the top down. The universe can only be saved by fixing humanity itself. We are the linchpin holding reality together.
Which brings us to the ultimate cosmological plot twist, and the very era we are living in right now. We've officially entered the era of human dignity, or Injan Saidai. To prevent a total cosmic collapse, Songje descends to enact a grand remodeling of the three realms. And the wildest part of this massive intervention? The center of this cosmic fix isn't some new emperor, and it's not a new prophet. The key to saving the universe relies entirely on ordinary humans, us.
This ushers in the truly transformative principle of Dao Guang Somin, meaning the Dao is bestowed directly upon the common people. Just contrast this with antiquity for a moment. The world-shaping power that used to belong exclusively to god kings and later to famous religious teachers, it's descended all the way to the grassroots level. The ultimate truth of the universe is now placed firmly in the hands of farmers, teachers, office workers, everyday individuals like you and me. Because the Tao is returning directly to everyday life, this era is fundamentally all about reunification. Remember those beautiful but fragmented and competing religions from Middle Antiquity? Well, that 500-year cycle of teachers was really just a temporary fix. Their ultimate destiny isn't to fight each other over territory or doctrine. No, the goal now is for all those distinct rivers of thought to merge back together into one vast, unified ocean in this new era. And the Dogi, the flag of Daesun Jinri Ho, serves as the visual anchor for this incredible shift. It might look simple at first glance, but it visually compresses 50,000 spiritual truths. It represents all the universal laws and cosmic principles wrapped into a single, unified emblem. This is the ultimate blueprint for our new era of empowered, dignified humanity, symbolizing the perfect convergence of heaven, earth, and human action. To really grasp the meaning of this, we just need to look at 3 profound steps to mastering the Tao today. Step 1, Sang Tung Chen Mun, understanding the heavens. Step 2, Hadal Jire, understanding the earth. And step 3, which is absolutely the most crucial, Zheng Chal Insa, understanding and acting in human affairs. What's really fascinating here is that even the legendary divine sages of antiquity struggled with that final step. You know, it's relatively easy to be spiritual when you're sitting alone on a quiet mountain, contemplating the abstract laws of heaven and earth. But Zheng Chal Inza? That is much harder. Taking that divine knowledge and actually applying it when you're dealing with a difficult coworker, a family crisis, or just the messy reality of modern life, that is the missing piece, and it's exactly what's demanded of us today.
This completely redefines the very concept of Dao Tong, or true spiritual enlightenment.
Enlightenment is no longer this static state of being where you just retreat from the world to meditate in total isolation. Dao Tong is now an action verb. True spiritual mastery today means actively participating in society, practically using the Tao to solve real-world problems, and consciously creating harmony in your actual lived reality.
We've traveled a massive journey today. We went from ancient god kings holding all the power to the great religious teachers, all the way to a modern era where the ultimate truth is placed directly in your hands. You are literally the focal point of the cosmos right now. So, I want to leave you with this. Now that the era of ordinary human dignity has arrived, how are you going to use the Tao in your everyday life? Think about the incredible power and responsibility you now hold. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.